Hey, old fellow travelers. Doing a little new segment called the Toby Walk segment. That's where I was thinking I do some of my best thinking while we're walking because there's not much else to do. Toby's not the greatest conversationalist. So I wanted to give some insights and thoughts. He's also not good at walking either. Come on, buddy. Give you some insights and thoughts on some of the interesting news that's come out this week. In this particular case, we're going to talk about cruising. So the two big tidbits are Royal Caribbean announced the Discovery class officially. And this has got to be the worst kept secret in cruising in the history of Royal Caribbean. We knew it was coming. We just, they made it official, and they really didn't give out much in the way of details. Now, several internet sleuths and other channels that are on top of it took bits and pieces from previous things said, and we don't know how accurate that's going to be because things change. And then the only details we really have is it's going to be able to fit through the Panama Canal, which right now the biggest ship ever to go through the Panama Canal. It's about 160,000 gross tons. So we think that's the limit in size. So unless they do something really interesting or different, that's probably going to be the maximum size of the ship. Now the Discovery class has been said to be more about the destinations, more exotic itineraries, and kind of take the place of some of their smaller ships like the Vision and eventually the Radiance class. So we're gonna have to see. I would really wish they had come out with more details. They didn't. And I do wonder if MSC might have had more information than we did on the Discovery class, because they did announce the Frontier class. And that's 180,000 gross tons. So it probably is not going to go through the Panama Canal, but we don't know for sure. Depends how MSC builds them. So we'll just have to wait and see on both of those. Both are very light on the details, to be honest with you. And then the other big announcement this week has been MSC's, I'm going to use the upgrades to Ocean Key. Now, we are big fans of Ocean Key. We have been there many times, and we love its natural beauty that they have rebuilt, and the fact that it's not stupid crowded anywhere, even though certain areas do get kind of crowded, particularly like Lighthouse Beach and Bimini Beach has started getting really crowded as people go there to snorkel. So it's the tidbits from Ocean Key are they are building the docks up so that they can have two ships docking at once. And the problem is, if you get two world-class ships, that island is not big enough for 14,000 people. So that's something of great concern, I would have to say. Now, I know MSC is increasing their presence in the United States, and they're increasing the amount of ships, and that's probably one of the direct results of it. There was one bit of news that I'll go over after this that probably directly pertains to stuff like that. Then the other thing is they're adding a splash pad. Now, my understanding was they couldn't add pools and keep their marine reserve because the pool runoff can potentially cause damage to the ocean. And that eliminates any possibility of being a marine reserve with a pool. And so they're putting a splash pad in with a playground area with slides. So I don't know how that's going to impact. Now, it is over in a fairly low used area because it's very shallow there. The Seekers Cove, and that is a family area. So it kind of makes sense for it to be there. And it's right next to one of the main buffets. They said they're adding more dining too. One being a premium dining. So that's probably going to be Yacht Club. We also have a little bit more information on the island that they're building there. It's going to be called Little K, or Little Key, however you want to say it. And that island is going to be mainly for explorer journey. Come on, Tobes. Like I said, he's not good at the walking either. mainly for Explorer Journey and Yacht Club. So it's going to be more luxury based. Now the part that gets me is they're putting this luxury, and yeah, it's more secluded and everything, so that's cool. But you're going to have to take a tender over. Now they do have the harbor, so it should be easier to get on and off the tender. Be less dependent on weather, because the harbor does keep it more calm in those areas. So we'll have to see how that goes too. And then some of the other details were they were adding more restaurants, including one premium, I think I said that. And so that's good. More dining is always good. And they were building an adult-only beach. And from the concept, it's out by the helipad, which is out by the spa in Ocean Key. So it's going to be kind of far out of the way, which means more trams. That's going to be a downside, is you're going to have more trams and more traffic on the pathways, which if you've been on Ocean Key, you know you're taking your life into your hands on some of those pathways with the golf carts. And they do have some walking paths specifically, and I don't know if they're planning on extending that, because that would make sense, and then you could have more golf carts without impeding anybody too much. So a lot of this is wait and see. We gotta see how MSC handles it, how it actually affects the island. If they are planning on 2 world-class, because that's what the press release says, is the docks are designed to accommodate world-class ships. So it's both docks. And the other problem with that, having 2 docks there, is it's kind of problematic getting one ship into Ocean Key, because you have some currents right there, wind, that type of thing. There's not a lot of protection there. It's kind of, a couple, 20 miles away, something like that, a bit from Bimini. Not much. 10 miles away from Bimini. Either way, it's close. The closest thing is Bimini, and it's not close. So there's not much wind protection. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm kind of disappointed in some of it, but I'm hoping, really hoping, this is not a beginning of a march towards turning it into a theme park like Coco Cay. Now, we do love Coco Cay, but Ocean Key was special because it was different, and it was more peaceful, and it was more relaxed, and it wasn't super crowded. And it seems like all that is going to go away, or at least be greatly reduced. Now, the other bit of news that I think a lot of people missed is MSC is expanding its footprint in Freeport. Now, Freeport is on the largest Grand Bahama island, and that's where Celebration Key is for Carnival, and Celebrity's also bought a resort over there that they're developing. So this is a island, a man-made island that's in the port, and I think it's because they are trying to expand the ports that MSC can go to. And the reason for that is more ships in the United States, which makes me wonder, we're getting World Atlantic, we know that. Grandiose is going to be stationed here year-round starting late 2026. Seashore is moving to Miami. I don't really like losing the ship here, but it makes sense, I guess. Port Canaveral probably can only accommodate 2 MSC ships at the moment. And Port of Miami, that facility they built, can accommodate 3 ships at the same time. So it kind of makes sense. Now, Port Canaveral, there's a marina there that the lease is running out, and I'm sure the MSC is looking at that, or has already made intentions for that, to convert it into a dock for cruise ships. And that wouldn't shock me at all, since they seem to want to project a lot of the docks, a lot of the ports. So there's a lot of interesting things coming up in the near future. But that pretty much covers the news this week, covers my thoughts on it. And if you like this segment, the Toby Walk segment, we'll make it a thing. I'll do it once a week. We'll cover not just cruise news, but cruise news is mainly what's dominating the circuit right now on travel. Theme parks have been kind of calm. Disney's working on the Magic Kingdom, and that construction is progressing But there's nothing really new to it. And then Epic Universe, we know there's going to be an expansion in the Harry Potter area. We just don't know much about it yet, so there's not really a lot of news to cover there either. All right, and as always, join us on our next adventure.